Okay, we're back at the... I think this is an appropriate time to resume my recording.
Imperial Guard, we're saved. The Emperor himself sent you.
Nay, you fool.
What lady? Okay, let's properly read this now. VJ... Heavy attack, shift and left mouse? Why are peasants fighting me? In the name of the king! Or the Tsar. I think king just... Champions!
What will possess a commoner to attack Imperial Guardsmen?
Yeah, trust me.
They did not seem right in the head. Possessed may be the right word.
Don't be ridiculous.
Possessed or not, they were raving about demons and spirits.
Ah,
Some lady.
they're just pussy whipped.
Appears the reports were not exaggerated. The locals really have lost it.
What now?
Mount up, and on to the village.
To the village. What one's my horse?
Lead the way, Alex.
What? Why me? I thought you were in charge.
That's your first mission with us. Therefore, we have to assess your abilities.
Yeah.
And that includes your judgment. So, lead the way.
And don't worry. If you try to do something too stupid, we'll let you know.
Thanks.
At your service.
Yeah.
Go!
What does that sign say? I must know! Could be law. Just get the... Move! Pillock. So what's...
Forward! What if I fail your test?
Don't worry.
Ah, it's the
You know exactly
waypoint.
how to deal with people who've seen too much. In fact, that's one of our specialities.
Wonderful.
You shouldn't complain. You're lucky that you have us evaluating you. The guys I had, Andre and Yuri, I don't know which one was the bigger hard ass. When I suggested we rest after 3 straight days on the road, Yuri called me a pussy and said a bitch like me would never make it.
Sure sounds like him.
And when I finally dozed off in the saddle on the 4th day, Andre smacked me in the head so hard I fell off my horse.
They sound charming. Can't wait to meet them.
I wouldn't be in a hurry if I were you.
Where are they now?
Killed in action. Both.
That's nice. R.I.P. my...
Halt! Who goes there?
Who got...
What's upon your half-wit? Can't you see these Imperial Guard? Forgive the fool, my lords. Welcome to
fighting
Ayleswood.
outside my house?
Who is in charge here?
Our alderman lives in the 3rd house on the left.
Thank you.
Go!
Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Imperial officers,
Long live his Imperial Majesty.
the Emperor's men.
God bless you, my lords.
This is not the 3rd on the left.
Majesty.
Quick, woman. Bread, salt, and victuals. My lords, I am Osip, the village alderman. To what do we owe the honour?
We've heard some interesting tales about these parts.
To put it mildly.
Good Lord be praised. I knew His Majesty would not leave us to these evil spirits. Oh, thank ye, my lords. Thank ye. I thought we were goners for sure.
Get to the point. Better say we're here to help. It's
Calm down,
nicer.
We're here to help. Tell us what's going on here. Oh, please, have a seat. It's as if hell
Bring the
itself
bread.
opened up, my lord. There's wicked beasts prowling the countryside, digging up graves and raising the dead to walk again. Men possessed by infernal spirits are a common sight round our peaceful village. And that evil witch. Oh, God, have mercy on us sinners. The end times are upon us. I swear it.
Please, my lords, I hope you won't scorn what little we've got.
Not at all. Thank you for your hospitality.
Am I a lord?
For us, my lords.
Tell us about the
We were
bandits.
attacked by some strange brigands just outside your village. Do you know who they were?
Aye, my lord. Ordinary men they were until recently, but now their minds are
Sorry, I'm yawning.
taken by demonic powers.
Right. Are they from around here?
But Nate, my lord, they are passers-by bedevilled by that infernal witch. Took their minds, she has. Now they loiter around our village.
I'm telling you, this game's just
steal
about
our
simps.
crops and livestock and harass our girls. Our boys had to take up arms to keep them at bay.
Strangely mundane activity for demonic powers to engage in.
They yelled about protecting some lady. Is that the witch you spoke of?
Aye, my lord, but no lady she is. A sorceress most wicked.
Tell us about this witch of yours.
Oh, that whore's behind all our misfortunes. I just knows it.
'Tis so. She was once just an old woman, our healer. She lived in that house on the hill or yonder since I was a little boy. She kept to herself mostly, but she never harmed nobody. We'd go to her when we were sick and she gives us herbs and brews. But one day this spring, she disappeared without a trace. Gone for 2 moons she was.
Making a pact with the devil, no doubt.
Is this story going somewhere?
Aye, my lord. A fortnight ago, she comes back, but she was changed.
How so?
Her hair. 'Twas once thin and grey, but it became lush and dark as the night itself. Her face. Her eyes are the same, blue as the clear sky, but her face is now that of a young lass. And her breasts, once old and saggy, now they are supple and large like the...
Why was you looking at her breast, you old pervert?
Oh, you daft wench! Because she bewitched me! I'm a God-fearing man, my lords, but she's turned me mind to evil thoughts, she has.
Oh, ye and every other man in the village, not to mention her wicked servants. The devil's whore she is, my lords, I swears it.
Really?
Has the witch actually harmed anyone in the village?
Aye, my lord, she tried. She tried, but we wouldn't let her. The day after she reappeared, she came down from her hill to the village square to work her foul magic. Oh, menfolk, they grew weak at the sight of her. She was charming them with her evil powers, she was, trying to take their minds for her own. But us
She's just a
women
really
folk,
beautiful
we
woman, I
stood our
bet.
ground. We told her that the devil's whore is not welcome, dear, amongst God-fearing folk. She tried to protest, but we wouldn't listen to her lies. We drove her away with the Holy Cross, we did, and sticks and stones for good measure. Our menfolk complained at first, said she was a nice girl even, but we opened their eyes to her devilry, we did, and slowly their minds came back to home and family, where they belong.
Get to the part where she hurt someone.
Aye, my lord. Some travellers came passing through the village later that day.
We warned them about the evil whore on the hill, but instead of avoiding her like God-fearing
Just
folk
can't get
should,
over the
for some
facial
reason,
expressions.
They went to visit her.
That's when she took their minds, she did, and turned them to her wicked purpose.
The eyes just have no emotion in this game.
Those beasts you mentioned. Tell us more.
Aye, my lord. It began about a moon ago. One night, we heard strange like sounds coming from the woods.
Woods at night are always full of strange noises.
No, my lord.
Especially where I live.
Screams.
Right by the doggers.
Inhuman, piercing screams. Myself and some of the boys from the village, we crept up there to take a look, we did, and we saw wicked beasts. They walked as men, but they had the heads of wolves, with great red eyes, burning with the fires of hell, led by a great big one they were. Tall as 3 men it was, and it had horns. Giant.
I know eyes must be so hard to like give emotion in video games, but this guy literally looks like he's off his tits on MDMA in the eyes only. But the rest of his face is just normal.
And
That's enough. Go back to the beginning.
Huh? What's that?
This time, keeping in mind that lying to an Imperial officer is a capital offence.
Capital, my lord? As in where His Majesty lives?
As in, if you lie to us again, we'll hang you.
Oh, beg mercy, my lord, I did.
Did you see this devil or not?
Nay, my lord. But the rest be true.
Little men with heads of wolves.
Lord Almighty, strike me down if I'm lying. We saw him, and then we ran. We ran for our lives.
Was there anything else?
Aye. The village cemetery near the woods. A week ago, something dug up some of the graves at night.
Dug up.
Did they take anything?
The bones that was resting there. We found the graves empty.
Could it have been grave robbers?
Robbers? We's poor folk, we are. We don't bury our dead with naught of value.
And what would a robber want with bones? Nay, my lord. 'Tis demons from hell it is, raising the dead for their evil
Like, she's just got
purpose. I
no
just know
emotion.
One more question. We've heard there are people in these parts who think the Emperor is to blame for all these events.
Good Lord have mercy. No man here would ever say such a thing. We love the Emperor as we do our father, one and all.
Aye, my lord. You'll not hear such talk in this village.
Have you heard of such talk elsewhere?
I have heard such talk elsewhere.
Have mercy, my lord. We's God-fearing folk we are. We know better than that.
All right. Thank you for the information. We'll see if we can work out what's going on here.
Clean and feed our horses in the meantime.
Aye, my lords. God be with you.
Whee! Come on. Where are we going?
Well then, the last time I heard such tales was from my grandmother when I was a little boy.
There has to be something behind them, though. Clearly he's exaggerating, but I doubt he made up everything.
We've already seen the bandits. And the empty grave should be easy enough to verify.
I'm more interested in that witch. If she's even remotely close to the description, I'd like to take a look at her.
I'll have to fuck her.
Lead the way, Alex.
Gentlemen, I require your assistance.
Okay. You did sound like a fucking pervert.
What's the matter?
I'm a merchant, stranded in this village because my cart has a broken wheel. Perhaps you can help me.
What would you have us do?
I need you to gather 15 wolf pelts, 30 bars of iron, and 50 bouquets of wild flowers.
How will these help you?
How exactly would those items help with your cart?
And surely you can just hire some of the locals instead.
Don't think too hard about this, gentlemen. Will you gather the items or not?
Are you out of your mind, man? Do we look like we have nothing better to do with our time?
We don't have time for this nonsense.
Well, if you'd like to save time, perhaps you can just give me some money instead. This way you'll still get the reward, but you won't have to do anything for it.
You've got some nerve.
And you don't look like you're hard up for money at all.
Oh, I'm not. In fact, I'm obscenely wealthy. But I could always use more.
Bastard.
Interest you in some armor for your horse? Or a different color uniform? Perhaps you'd like to see me in my underwear. I'm not a proud man, my lords. I'll literally do anything for money.
Let's go before I do something I regret.
What the fuck is this game?
Wait!
What about an orange sword? It's orange, my lords. Orange!
Orange. Can I get on a horse? I would appreciate. No. I'm not sure how I feel about how close this camera is to the back of my head. They're so handsome. So, I don't know what direction I'm going in. I'm just running to what appears to be an eagle, but it's in such low resolution, it, I don't know, looks like a Grim Reaper with his thing like that. I don't know. Just got to do it. Am I any closer? Jesus Christ, is this game just a running sim? Hello, peasants.
Fuck your mother. What a fool you are.
Why am I a fool?
Why? Who flipped over the cart with all the pots on it? Probably got sauced like a pig last night again.
I had a little. So what?
So what? Pick 'em up!
Why me?
Because you're the one who flipped the cart over, damn you!
How is it my fault? 'Tis all because of the sauce.
Because of the sauce. What are you going to tell the alderman? He'll have you whipped, he will, and me along with you.
Right, boys, how are we doing? Oh, I can't interact. Why can't I interact?
Aye. Twill be trouble for sure. The pieces we can pick up but won't fix the pots.
What are we going to do now?
Maybe fuck it. I still have a little left.
So what are you waiting for? Let's get to it. Service.
What happened here?
Devils, my lord.
Devils?
Aye, my lord. They appeared as if from hell itself and went straight for the cart, they did. We barely fought them off, I swear it.
Right. Did you fight them using bottles?
We're celebrating our victory.
In the name of His Majesty the Emperor.
Right, that's it.
All right, you idiots. So long.
They just want to drink, man. I rate
masters,
it.
we drink to your elf too, but we're poor folk. Maybe a pittance for half a bottle, if it please you.
Thank you, my lord.
God keep you, my lords. 'Tis no shame in drinking all day to such fine masters.
Who the... Ooh, it's the sexy bitch. No, it's the old bitch who's now got perky tits. I do like the din 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 the track in the background.
According to the Elderman, the witch's house should be up this hill.
I wonder if there's going to be a trail of breadcrumbs.
We'll find out soon enough.
The alderman painted quite the picture of this witch. Lush black hair and large supple breasts. Sounds like my kind of foul magic.
Aren't you worried?
About what?
That she might turn you into a frog.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I'll be alright. Besides, all you'd need to do is take me to a princess and have her give me a kiss.
That only works if it's true love.
What's not to love?
Right. Still, I think I'd rather keep you in my pond as a pet.
Glad to know I can count on you.
Don't worry. I'll feed you nothing but the finest flies and mosquitoes in the Empire.
Friend indeed.
Wow. That's friendship. A true friend indeed. Are these all the simps?
The lady! They've come for the lady! Kill him!
Do the work for me. Oh, I have energy. Come on, shoot him. Shoot him. Simps be gone.
Such dashing officers. To what do I owe the pleasure, gentlemen?
The pleasure is all ours.
Oh my.
Take it away, Alex.
Right.
My lord.
What happened between you and the locals? Why do they think you're an evil witch?
I arrived here at night, and the following morning went down to the village square to meet the residents. I'm no stranger to attention, but out here my presence caused an outright commotion. All the men were tripping over themselves to greet me, but before I'd even had an opportunity to properly introduce myself, those harpies set upon me. They called me every filthy name I'd ever heard, and quite a few that I hadn't. Then they started throwing rocks and threatening to kill me. To burn me at the stake, to be precise. I had no choice but to run back here. I know not the reason that the women hated me so.
Oh, I can think of a couple. Quite shapely ones at that.
My lord.
Did the villagers harm you?
Aside from a few bruises, no. Then these brigands showed up shortly after and would let no one near me. Now that you have so gallantly dispatched them, I can only hope that cooler heads will prevail among the locals.
We just slaughtered,
Should
like...
probably make certain that they do.
Jokes aside, I'd cover up a bit if I were you. The locals' reaction is not at all surprising.
Their reaction is their problem, my lord. Every woman enjoys attention, and it's not my fault I attract more than most. Besides, I never know when I might meet a brave, handsome officer.
Oh. Oh, look at his face. He is simping. Simp.
The villagers say that you changed your appearance using sorcery.
Sorcery? Is that what the locals call the occasional bath and a touch of makeup?
No, they
Oh,
said you were
fuck.
once a grey old woman.
Older woman? I'm 24. Oh, good lord. How dense are these people? The grey old woman, she was my grandmother. She had lived out here all her life while I grew up in town with my father. She came to visit me a few months back, but unfortunately fell ill and passed away.
I thought you were too well spoken to be from around here. Who was your father?
He was a merchant, and I his only daughter. Of course, he strove to give me the best education he could. And in addition, I had learned a good
Educated
deal about
women.
herbalism from my grandmother. Considered perhaps taking up her trade.
The feudal era's worst enemy.
How did you end up out here?
My father passed away this winter.
Oh, shit.
Unbeknownst to me, he had significant debts and had mortgaged our house twice over. I have no other family, and when the creditors came calling, I had nowhere to go. So I decided to come here, to Grandma's house. I summered here frequently as a little girl, so I know the area well.
You're not concerned that we killed your guards.
You don't seem all that broken up over the fact that we just killed your protectors.
Protectors? That's certainly one way to put it. And I suppose they had their uses. But as a woman living alone, I had mixed feelings about armed men loitering outside my home. Particularly considering that I was given no say in the matter.
The villagers are under the impression that you bewitched these men.
Is that so? My, they have wild imaginations out here, don't they?
You're clearly familiar with these brigands. Who were they?
Familiar is perhaps too strong a term, my lord. They showed up outside my door 2 weeks ago, quite drunk, and declared their intention to have their way with me. For men with no apparent education, they were unexpectedly eloquent and verbose in describing their designs.
Did they hurt you?
They were quite certain in their belief that I would relish the once-in-a-lifetime experience they were about to bestow upon me. As you may imagine, I was not as thrilled at the prospect. So I inquired whether the locals had informed them of my wicked powers. They replied that they did not fear the devil's whore, as they so poetically put it. I noted their courage, but then asked whether they feared the devil himself. For would he not seek to punish those that dare violate his property?
That's a smart.
What happened then?
Remember, girls, use that
Evidently,
next
in their
time at the
great
bar.
of their company, they had failed to consider that point. Some of them expressed doubts, which grew into concerns and eventually escalated into quite the debate. Once verbal arguments had exhausted themselves, they proceeded to a more physical way of settling their differences. I waited with bated breath for them to come to a consensus. Fortunately, the side that was against defiling me in ways that decency does not permit to mention finally prevailed. They resolved to make camp near the woods and ponder the matter overnight. I gave them a brew to calm their nerves, and had sincerely hoped that I would never see them again.
But they came back.
At the crack of dawn the following morning, I had feared the worst, but instead they dropped to their knees and begged me to call off the devil's servants. Naturally, I was quite surprised, but proceeded to tell them that they had nothing to fear, provided they would not let a hair on my head come to harm. In retrospect, perhaps I should have worded that differently. For after they had finished profusely thanking me for my mercy, they resolved to never leave my side, nor to let anyone else come near me. They had camped outside my home ever since.
Tier 3
Been
sub.
diligent in collecting any stray hairs that fell to the ground.
What caused them to have such a sudden change of heart?
They had been under the impression that the devil sent monsters after them for transgressing against me. Something about ghosts and wolfmen or some such. What it really was they saw that night, I know not.
So,
Do you know anything of these monsters that everyone here is on about?
Only stories I overheard from my erstwhile guardians. Something about men with heads of wolves. Somebody digging up the graves at the cemetery. And that poor young man that was torn to pieces 4 days ago.
what?
The Elderman didn't mention anything about that.
Interesting.
I dare not pry, gentlemen, but surely 3 Imperial Guardsmen are not out here merely for some local superstitions. Perhaps I may be of assistance?
Somebody has been spreading rumors blaming the Emperor for all the supposed horrors that have befallen these parts. Have you heard anything?
I've not been here long, but my so-called protectors mentioned something about a wise man. He's been opening the eyes of the oppressed, or something to that effect. In fact, that's how they ended up here to begin with. They were on their way to see him. I believe they mentioned he was in the homesteads near the old monastery.
I know the place. A few hours' ride from here. Thank you for your help.
At your service, my lords.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
How may I...
Okay. Then we wrap this up.